Yo! They did it. They made a great Mario movie. I'll never get the 90s obsession with making bad adaptations like Judge Dredd, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I enjoyed the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat ones, but the Mario movie was just awful. The new one, however, I absolutely loved from start to finish. Most people are concerned with Chris Pratt and Illumination being involved. The Chris Pratt stuff confused me because Chris Pratt is actually a pretty darn good voice actor and was superb as Emmett in the Lego movies, and people just want to hate, I guess. And Illumination made solid kids movies, with Minions Rise of Gru being the most recent one and one of the most popular and money-making ones. I mean, Nintendo was so confident they gave the head of the studio a seat on the Nintendo board. The reviews have, been unhinged, with people confused that there'd been a cat costume that has existed in the franchise for a decade, saying it has no plot and is inaccessible, and that it was, rubbish when it got to the Mushroom Kingdom and had too many video game references. It's almost as if it's a video game movie, you moron. I have no idea what these critics were smoking, and I don't want some of it. While the level of fan service is off the charts, it works it, as stuff like the Mario Karts and power-ups and the sky levels worked very well within the story, and deep-cut NES games like the Punch-Out Pizzeria and Mario playing Kid Icarus are a wink and nod to the Nintendo diehards like myself. The plot is, yes, simple. Bowser is enamored with Princess Peach and wants to marry her. I mean, the geezer's been stealing her for decades and bringing her to a different castle each time, but this plot is very reminiscent of Mario Odyssey, and Bowser even wears that same top hat, making me say to my girlfriend that, wow, we're going to get Cappy at some point, which we didn't. It would have been nice, but anyway. The movie goes at a frantic pace which matches the games as well. You speed through the levels as fast as possible and has surprisingly deep moments with frenemies Donkey Kong and Mario initially hating each other. But this plot, it worked very well, and those two ended up having a common bond in daddy issues in a rare slow moment as they are stuck in the eel from every other Mario game. Princess Peach is expanded upon, and to be honest, the usual boring damsel in distress story wouldn't have fly here. It'd have been admittedly quite dull. Some will say woke, and I will say, mate, don't be an utter melt. Anya Taylor-Joy brings Peach to life very well, and the only issues I had with the voices were the Kongs. Seth Rogen being just Seth Rogen was a criticism I had from the trailers, but people seem to like that, but not like Chris Pratt doing his voice, which worked perfectly. And the fact that his voice, they did the whole proper Charles Martinet accent, yeah, it was very well done. And Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong just, didn't fly for me. But the highlight is Jack Black's Bowser treading the line of scary and hilarious, something which is admittedly tough to do, and he worked very well. He was, for the most part, really scary, but he was also sent up at times. The soundtrack of the 80s hits, I've heard many other, such as Moist Criticals, say they didn't like it, but I thought it worked really well across the movie, as the songs and littered out throughout, and we had the classic ones as well. Thankfully, the movie didn't spend too much time in Brooklyn and moved pretty much sharpishly to the Mushroom Kingdom. I personally would have maybe liked it to be New Donk City, just to tie it in, as Pauline was there in Brooklyn as well, so yeah, it's a weird one, but I would have liked to see other worlds, such as Bob on Battlefield and the desert one we saw them walk past, maybe trying to unite everyone there, but the movie is laser focused on stopping Bowser and limits to the Toads and Kongs uniting, which, yeah, that worked. I was saddened to see Luigi captured for most of the movie, more so because Charlie Day was so good as the brother of Mario, who himself has had some banger games, and I'm currently working my way through the Luigi Mansion games on the 3DS. It doesn't outstay its welcome, as I checked my watch and I only had 30 minutes left, and I had 3/4 of my popcorn left in my question block popcorn tin. In an age when, for some reason, John Wick is almost 3 hours, I appreciate a nice, solid movie. As being a parent, my kid's too young to go to the cinema, but I also have to go late in the day once he's in bed. So I don't want to have to get back at midnight and then just amble through the workday the next day. And it's very nice to have just a 90-minute movie, which works well for the attention span of kids and my ADHD brain. But overall, it was an absolute solid blast. The Easter eggs, I'm very excited to make a video on when the PVOD drops, because in every frame, there's almost like 10 or 12 just off the top of my head. And I hope that we do move towards hopefully Super Mario Galaxy next, or a Mario Sunshine. Hey, that won't happen. It's more than likely going to be Super Mario World with Yoshi, and we will probably see Mario Galaxy in some shape or form. But that is it for this video. Please drop a like down below if you enjoyed it. Do subscribe with notifications on, and I should be back soon with a review of Air, which I haven't seen, but I'm very excited to. Goodbye.